or that I knew personally.
Yeah.
But I've never claimed that those were the people that applied for those. I said I saw names that matched people that were dead, that I knew personally to be dead. And that's all I've ever said. You know, it's not my job to determine how this election come out 90% one way in the absentee ballots. But there are people that are investigating it that will determine that. And then we'll know. But these 3 dead people that I saw that I knew very well, if they weren't on that voting list, I'm glad, because they shouldn't have been. And I'm glad that the prosecutor checked into it and made sure of that.
Did you use that term match?
Do what?
Did you use that term match?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Match or match?
Match. Yes, I've always say if you go back.
Did you always use that term?
If you go back and look at any recording of what I've said, I've always said that. Now I have said that if one of them was who I thought it was, who it might be, that he was a friend of mine. And I didn't like the idea of things like that happen to someone. I don't think any of us would if we thought someone voted for a friend of ours that wasn't there.
I'm going to tell you the way, personally, I'm a Lincoln County resident. I'm a taxpayer in Lincoln County. And I'm a voter in Lincoln County. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel toward you while all the media's here. The statements that you've made about 11 dead people, actually it was made, or the media, one made a mistake, they are found alive. That is brought a reproach upon our county and makes every one of us look bad.
No, I don't think it does.
I think it does. I think it does. I don't know about you. It probably wouldn't make you look bad.
Then it would have made us look bad. And you know, how can I, as someone who's supposed to determine the legality, I mean the validity of this election, see 3 people that I know personally to be dead, and names that match those on this list, okay? That's what happened. How can I turn a blind eye to that in being the one that certifies this election? To be the one that makes a decision on whether this election is valid or not? How can anyone do that? If you don't do that, you're not obeying the law. You're not representing all those other voters that voted the way they wanted to vote. You have to do that. We all are charged to do that. We're all charged to make sure these are fair and honest elections. And those 3 people that I put on top of that list and told the Secretary of State's office and the prosecuting attorney that they were dead, they were dead. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Now, I never did claim they were the ones that voted. Now, as this went through the media, they have put that.
Somebody said they did. I've got the paperwork here.
Well, I can tell you, go back and review anything I've said. I'm sure these guys here have plenty of footage. You go back and look at it. You go back and listen to it. And I've always made the comment toward the authorities and to the media that this represented people, 3 people that I knew that had the same name as my patients that had died. And that's all I ever claimed. I had no ability to determine whether they were or weren't. All these dead people voting and things like that, I never said.
Well, I'm going to tell you how I feel. Myself, as a taxpayer and a voter of Lincoln County, these allegations has been brought up, and it has ruined our county. It has separated our families. It has separated our friends by this rumor. And as far as I'm concerned, as a voter of voter of Lincoln County, I feel that you're no longer should represent the commissioner seat of Lincoln County. You ought to step down immediately.
Been part of the group that orchestrated this absentee ballot problem we have here, then I'd be the one that would step down if I was involved in that. Well, let me tell you something. As I've told all of you, I'm being very honest with you. What I said is what I said, and it's recorded. You can look and see. What people said I said is something entirely different. But I have why would I think that I knew who voted if I did not have an address or a birthday? Why would I say that if I didn't know that? Because I didn't know it and I didn't say it. But let me tell you something. if we get through these investigations and we find out everything's perfectly fine with what happened with the absentee ballots, then I'll consider your request for me to step down. But if we find out that I'm right and you're wrong, then I think we need to talk again.
We will.
And I want to. Anyone, I mean, I'm not trying to hide from these guys. You know, if I want to hide from something, I'm going to hide when I have to tell a mom the 2-year-old has cancer and is going to die. And I don't even do that. I tell them because I know that's what's right to do. And I told you all what I did about, I told the prosecuting attorney and the Secretary of State's office about these names because I felt that's what was right to do. I could not hide those names from investigating agencies, and I didn't. And if we get through this and we find out I'm wrong, I'll be the first to come to all of you all that clapped and apologize to you. But I don't really want people to think that I'm trying to do wrong, to hide this, to do that. I really don't care who wins an election, but I do want to make sure that when people go to vote on election day, the votes count.
Mr. Vance, I'm not down here to cause no problems, make anybody mad.
This is something everybody says.
I'm down here
this is
to
something everybody
bring the
hears.
truth out and let it stand.
Well, that's what we want to do.
And why can't the people of Lincoln County go out? I've seen parties run a complete, perfect party, never throwed off on nobody. From the word go, some of them will start slandering. Why is that?
I don't know, but that has
Well,
to
you
people
must
lose.
be.
Somebody
You
has to
won
win,
that.
somebody has to lose.
Huh?
But no, I'm fine. Once we determine these absentee ballots are legal and should have been done the way they're done, like I said, I'll be the first. I'll get a whole page in the journal and say, hey, I was wrong. But let's wait till the investigation's over with.
There you go.
Then
Wait on it.
let's put the blame where it belongs.
Let me ask you something. One more question, and I'll quit. If it would have went your way, would you have done this?
I would have went. I'll go back to the election prior to that.
Okay.
Okay? That election was won by Steve Priestley on election day. It was won by Mr. McCann in absentee votes. So this has nothing to do with who wins or loses. This has to do with making sure our election process is fair. That everybody's vote counts the same. And that no group can go out and take 500 people and change these elections. That's what this is about. And if I'm wrong, I will be the first to apologize to you all.
You know, Mr. Vance, I have a lot of respect for you people down here because y'all control this county. And I want to see things done right. I don't want to see things done wrong. Even when I played baseball, top of the first inning, everything was just going so good. But when we got down to the bottom, whether we went through them innings, got down to that 7th inning, we was getting beat. So I started looking. Started throwing slurs to the umpire, making bad calls. It really wasn't an umpire. I just got beat. So I just had to suck it up, go home, try it again. Thank you, Mr. McKinney.